What's up, gang? Welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at USDJPY, and I just placed a live trade on this this currency pair with a $400 risk.
You what?
And if you stick around to the end of this video, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see the trade play out, whether it's a win or a loss, and see how much money I'm able to make, how much money I lose, etc. We're gonna go through it together. I really have no idea when I'm making these videos. I film them start to finish. Sometimes I catch winners, sometimes I catch losses, but there's one thing assured, we're gonna learn something together here. Let's jump into the trade and talk a little bit about it. So first of all, take a look at this. Here is the trade. So USDJPY, 92,000 units long. So we are buying this market. We have stop loss in place, the entry price, etc. And you can see we are floating around minus $66 so far. Anyways, let's take a look at the technical breakdown here. We're going to take a look at the 4-hour chart here for our opening perspective. And what I want you to notice is that if we scroll out, what you'll notice about this chart is we are trending. We are seeing all three of these moving averages pretty much lined up. Now, there's nothing magical about moving averages, but for me, it's a nice visual tool just to see that the trend is in fact trending. Because when we have all three of these lined up, when we have the 20, the 50, and the 100 simple moving averages lined up like this, that's telling us that the market is trending well here on the 4-hour chart. So for me as a 4-hour chart trader, I trade the 4-hour, the 1-hour, and occasionally I'll look at the daily. This is to me prime real estate for looking for pullback plays on the long side. Now there's fundamentals and other aspects to this trade, which I'll talk about in a second, but technically let's talk about the technical analysis behind this trade. Today's video is sponsored by Bybit, and if you're not familiar with Bybit and you're looking for a new broker, let's take a look at some of the awesome offers that they have available. They now have MetaTrader 4, which many traders that watch my channel are very used to, and they also have some incredibly tight spreads and some awesome offers available. Down below in the description, you can click the link and check it out for yourself. They have no dealing desk, they have 24/7 trading for USDT perpetual contracts, and all sorts of other amazing features available. They also have a copy trading ability, so you can actually copy some of the best traders that are available on their platform at the click of a button, which is really quite cool. If we look left, what we can see, let's pull those moving averages off and let's just look at price action for a second. So price action, what we could see is that price came up to this level here, 137.5. And let me get a different color here so you guys can see that. So this level came into play once and twice, and both times failed out. In fact, you can actually see that I took a profitable trade here back last week. I bought this pullback, and then when this thing failed again at this level, I actually stopped out for a profit right there. Then the market left me in the dust, and I was a little sad about it. I was like, well, I could have taken profit way up here and made more money, but those are the internal demons of trading. Anyways, hindsight is 2020. Markets do end up start pulling back, and that's where we are today. Prices pull back to that very same level where when we just identified that this is key structure in the market, I am now willing to buy this thing on a pullback as we come back into that zone with the anticipation of a potential bullish rally from here. So next up, we have to evaluate, okay, there's the technical analysis. If we were to take this trade, which I already did, but I'm speaking in rhetoric here. If I was to take this trade, my next thought process is, where do I say I gotta get out, right? Where do I cut the loss if nothing goes my way? Well, you can see I already have a stop loss in the trade, but let's break that down a little bit. What I did is, if we clear this up, you can see I also noticed that we had a little pivot off of this level here. That's where we really found strength. So my line of defense is not just this zone, which is of course a key spot. It's also this particular area right around 137 as a breaking point. And what I mean by that is that if price comes down under 137 and shoots down to 136.90, I am out of the trade. That would be my cut the loss point, where I will take a $400 loss and I'll move on. Now, the next question becomes, Nick, where's your take profit? The take profit on this trade doesn't exist. I like to trail stops. If you're familiar with my style of trading, what I tend to do is, let's say this market were to rally. What I'll do is I'll mark a couple spots where I think prices could go and could meet some sort of resistance. The first stop would be right around here, 138. And then of course we have some more right here, and we have some more up at the previous high. Okay, So target ideas are now on the screen. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm not actually going to take profit here. I'm not going to close the trade if we come up to that level. What I'm going to do is if markets start rallying up into these areas, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start trailing my stop loss. So let's say we got a scenario like this, and I'm just painting a picture here. What I would do is I would take this stop loss and I would trail it on up to break even. If we hit 138, I would trail my stop to break even. If we started hitting up into this area, I'd start trailing my stop. And if I started hitting up here, I would start trailing my stop. You can kind of see what I'm doing there is I'm basically just trying to just follow price action. So I'm not trying to assume where this market will go, because really, if this thing really wants to trend, we could actually see this thing fly past the highs. And in that case, I still want to hold on to the trade. How do I do that? I trail stops. That's how I personally trade. It's not for everyone. I understand that it does make you lose more often. It makes you take less winners because, again, sometimes you'll have a market where it rallies and then you'll barely trail stops and just get a break-even trade instead of a profitable trade. So I understand it's not for everybody, but it is something that I've done for a long time and that for me is most comfortable. So that's where we're at with trailing stops. So that's the technical breakdown. Next, let's take a quick look at the fundamentals and the readings from the Edge Finder. Okay, now so we're going to take a second and look at the Edge Finder, which is our market scanner, which I do use to find the trade setups that I take. So what we can see here is that the USDJPY actually gets a 4, and a 4 just means that it is getting a lot of readings to go long. It's a lot of pointing to the upside. So if we look at this score breakdown, we can zoom in on the edit. We can see that there's a 4 on the score of USDJPY. Then we look at COT data. That's pointing towards bullishness for the dollar and bearishness from the yen from an institutional perspective. The COT data, we use that to track smart money. We could actually go take a look at our smart money tracker, and this will be available down below in the description, by the way, if you want access to the Edge Finder. If we take a look at this, I want to show you guys something. The dollar here, in terms of net positioning from institutional traders, is 80% long and 20% short. Conversely, if we take a look at the yen, 73% roughly is short and only 27% is long from institutional positions open on the futures market. We have this data imported into our tool. If this is something that you would be interested in, again, use the link down below the description and use that promo code that is down there, YTVIP, to get a super discounted price off of the Edge Finder if you want access to it. But this is how I find my trades, and I like to align myself best I can with the metrics that we look at, like, for example, what the smart money is doing, what the dumb money is doing, that sort of stuff, right? Dumb money just being amateur traders that we can collect data on as well. We've done that with the tool. Again, this is kind of our project in play. But right now, again, dollar yen gets a strong reading for several metrics. Smart money points towards buying the dollar. Retail sentiment, the crowd is going super short on this one. That points towards bullishness for us, right? Because we want to buy what the amateur trader is selling, because oftentimes the amateur trader is on the wrong side of the trade and they get caught in a trap. Seasonality is the next one. If we take a look at seasonality down here at the bottom of the screen, seasonality is showing us that right now, historically, the month of July is slightly positive. That's a positive catalyst. Trend reading, we have a +2. The trend is very strong to the upside. And then some of the economic features are a little bit mixed. We have strong interest rate divergence, 1.8% bias towards buying the dollar. The dollar has a high interest rate. The yen offers a low interest rate. That means for foreign investment that people are going to be going towards buying the US dollar. Again, this is our market scanner. I use this to actually find the trades. As much as I love technical patterns and using technical analysis to my advantage, it is not the only thing I use, because I think that there are very impactful things that we can study to try and forecast prices in the currency market, which is exactly what we try to do with the Edge Finder. All right, what I'll do is I'll pause the video now and we'll come back once this thing has played out a little bit more, and we'll talk about the updates then. Okay guys, so it's been a couple hours since I initially took this trade, and we are currently floating $410 or so. I'll pull up the details on the trade here so you can see $411 profit. And at this point, what I want to do is go ahead and start to secure the trade. So what I mean by that is I'm going to take my risk off of the table. So remember, in the opening phase of taking this trade, what I identified was, okay, on the 4-hour chart, I really liked this area here. So you can see my markup still intact, and we got the rejection that we were looking for on this candle here. And now, so far, we're seeing the reaction that we wanted. So in that case, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that risk and I'm going to take it right off of the table. I'm going to lock in this trade. So at this point, we no longer can lose money on the trade, which is a great spot to be in. And what we'll do is just mark this so I can see where that is in relation to price. Now, here's the thing. You might say, well, Nick, why would you do that if it could just come back to retest that area again and knock you out for break even? Well, that could be the case, but really, based on the reaction that we've seen so far, I pretty much want to see this thing make a move and continue to make a move from here. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and scrap the trade and just take a break even, because really what I'm looking for is this market to continue to trend very strongly as it has been doing and give me that chance to very quickly rack in a nice positive trade. So I'm going to go ahead and take my trade. I've moved it to break even at this point, and what that will allow me to do is just take the risk off the table. Again, if price were to collapse all the way back down, it might not have been the move that I was looking for. Again, that could be a lower high and hint that we could be headed back down underneath the lows. So I'm looking for a quick reaction, let that trend continue. If it doesn't, no problem, I'll take a break even trade and make like $23 or whatever out of the trade. And that may be what happens. Again, I don't have foresight, I don't have forward knowledge when I take these trade videos. This is just me taking a trade in real time. I don't have any future information. So floating $420, again, good little spot to be in with the trade, and we'll go ahead and let this one run, see if we can get a little bit more profit on the table, and from there try and trail stops further. So let me make sure I update members. I'll show you that in just a second here. Okay guys, so here is the update. So I just shared this with members. Anytime I take a trade, I share it inside of our Discord channel, and so you can see there it is. People are already using the Trader Nick emoji, which is awesome. Just updated that position there. So USDJPY, so far going pretty well. Floating, again, the summary right now, we floated about 63 pips on the trade and just locked in at break even. Here was the initial basis for the trade, which again was shared with members. If you're not already in the membership group, if you'd like to join the Discord, the link will be down below in the description. And if you use that promo code down below, you'll get a discount and be able to see all the trades being taken by myself and my team, Frank, Ivan, and the rest of our gang. So there you go. We'll pause and come back once this market has made another move, whether for the better or for the worse. We'll just have to see, and we'll pause and come back. All right, guys, it is time for a little bit of an update here on my dollar yen trade. Let's pull it up so we can see here. All right, so I got my dollar yen long position open, 92,000 units, floating around $660 of profit currently on the trade. We just had some news from the ECB that caused markets to jump around a little bit, and so far it's not doing the best thing for my position, but still floating around $650. What I do want to do is actually go ahead and lock in some more profit here on this trade. So in our last update, what we did is we moved stops to break even on USDJPY. Now it's time to go ahead and secure profits. And so how do we do that? Well, again, I don't want to be a victim of if this thing does decide to put in a lower high and roll over. I would still like to make some money on this trade, especially considering that at one point we have been up on the trade about 130 pips. So good move here. Really, really like the entry. The entry on this one was really quite good, if I do say so myself. But now let's go take a look at the 1 hour chart and see how we can trail stops. So what I liked this morning is that we have this sort of retest of resistance actually happening right now. And I don't really want to see this thing break much below here. And we could also mark up some areas like here. This is maybe the more conservative way to approach it is if I want to hold on to this dollar yen more aggressively, I could consider making a move up to here. You can see if we zoom in on the right hand side, I'm floating at this point, I'd be floating a $300 stop loss. And if I move it up to here, I'll lock in around $550. Now, here's the thing, $550, do I want to, this is where we have to make the decision. Do we want to be more conservative or do we want to be more aggressive with this? Well, my answer actually is I am going to go ahead and be a bit more aggressive. Now, we're very close. So if this level breaks, I might actually end up being out of a trade pretty dang quick, and we're going to go ahead and do this. So if this level doesn't hold, that is going to go ahead and be the point of no return for me in terms of the trade. So, and that might actually happen. We'll stay live here and watch to see if that happens right on camera. But we are poking into this level. I really would like to see this level hold. We've been trending nicely. We've pulled back to this level. If the buyers are still relevant, then they should push off this level. If they don't, we'll take our profit and we'll make $550 on this trade, which I can't complain about. That would be a just fine scenario. So I'm not too worried if that happens. And that might happen here in just a second. What I'll do is I'll update members about this trade before I forget to do so. And we will go ahead and go from there. Let me pause and come back in just a second. All right, and just that quick, we actually ended up getting stumped out. That's okay. We took our profit here, and again, I don't like the way this candle is forming here. So at this point, what happened is price came back to our level, and you saw it as I marked it up. I was looking for this level to either hold very quickly and continue this momentum that we're seeing, or I would go ahead and jump out of the way. We had some big news here this morning, and I really don't want to see, this thing kind of just erase back the other direction. So what I did is I locked in some profits. It doesn't mean I can't look for re-entry, maybe even on the lower time frames. If we do end up rejecting this area, I can just jump back into the trade. But for now, that is the trade. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and remember, you can get all of access to our Discord and market scanners and all sorts of stuff down below in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Looks like it's time for your next trading video. Check out the videos here and here for more free trading content that should help you in your trading journey. We try and keep it real here, so make sure to subscribe for more content that is down to earth, realistic Forex trading content. See you in the next video.